Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and this is going to be the upcoming crowdfunding campaigns for January. Apologies that this video is a week late. I usually try to film these at the end of the month, but I've been under the weather this past week, and that means a bunch of videos have not been filmed, including this one. But that is a good opportunity to segue into my usual recommendation to subscribe to Shelf Clutter. Shelf Clutter has these videos up every single week, and if you were subscribed to Shelf Clutter, anything in this past week that was already relevant, well, he'd already have you covered for that. So make sure if you want to go ahead and find out what's coming up every single week as it comes up, instead of once a month, just a general roundup. But if you want to find out that, and also, I don't really cover all the campaigns. I try to focus on ones that I think have a little more attention to them, versus, Shelf Clutter makes sure to cover more campaigns so that you are more informed and more on top of whatever you do or don't want to crowdfund. But with that, let's go ahead and start off the bat with we have a handful of campaigns. We have maybe 15 or 20, not a ton. This will probably be a somewhat shorter video, combined with the fact that I'm still under the weather, and so the games I don't know much about, I didn't look into more to do the research on. So yeah, but let's go ahead and dive into it. Timestamps as usual down below, links to all the campaigns, starting off the bat with Hero Realms. Hero Realms Dungeon, coming from Wise Wizard Games. This is going to be coming in January 2023. I assume to Kickstarter, because it says Kickstarter exclusive Necromancer. So we'll have this coming, six new character class: Alchemist, Barbarian, Bard, Druid, Monk, all of that stuff. More content for your Hero Realms adventure. If you're looking for that, there's Star Realms, there's Hero Realms, there's Star Realms Frontiers, there's a bunch of these games, but Hero Realms coming to Kickstarter in January 2023. Then we have OrcQuest WarPath Resurrection, a cooperative dungeon crawler for 1 to 6 players. This is coming to you from Monolith. Monolith took over OrcQuest and they're bringing it back to Kickstarter. It's going to be €135 for 172 miniatures, 991 cards, 44 dice, 27 double-sided boards, 426 tokens, 2 huge boxes, lots and lots of OrcQuest content in this dungeon crawling cooperative adventure with lots of heroes and leveling ups and abilities and all those fun things in OrcQuest WarPath Resurrection. Then over on Gamefound, we have Street Fighter V Champion Edition Legends coming likely in January. This I know was scheduled for January at one point. I don't know if it still is, so we'll see exactly if that does or doesn't happen. But in this 1 to 4 player game, take on the role of a bunch of Street Fighters as you choose a map, choose a nemesis, choose a bunch of, nemesises, choose a map, a boss, the enemy units you're fighting against, and the nemesis for your specific, Street Fighter characters you're fighting against. As you take on a bunch of enemies and play cards and roll dice and try to tackle the various baddies in the specific scenario encounter that you're going through in this game. That's going to be Street Fighter V Champion Edition Legends, $75, coming to Gamefound, likely in January sometime. Then we have The Last Doge from Don't Panic Games. Centuries after the fall of civilization, a few rare humans try to find a lost treasure in a dried-up Venice. The Last Doge. We'll see what happens in this one. I don't know much about this. The art looks good. The cars look good. There's miniatures. There's standees. It looks pretty as you try to find treasure in this game. That's as far as what I know about this one. But The Last Doge coming into Kickstarter in January. Then we have Arborea from Alley Cat Games. This one almost gives me Bitoku vibes in the sense that it looks like it's aiming to be a heavier Euro game. But the general layout and coloring and all that, giving me strong Bitoku vibes. Past that, don't really know much about it. It's a Euro game with shared resource tracks and, worker placement and all those things in Arborea, coming to Kickstarter January 16th. Then we have AEGIS Combining Robots Season 2, a new standalone expansion plus reprint for bringing you this robot fighting game with a build your team, unite their powers, fight to victory, and furious tactical battles. This one always looks fun at conventions. I always see it set up at conventions. I believe it has acrylic standees, if I'm not mistaken. Looks very cool. Art looks cool. Miniatures look cool. Standees, look cool. All that stuff. Coming to Kickstarter January 17th, AEGIS Combining Robots. Then we have Coal Baron from CNC Publishing. This is a reprint campaign, not a reprint campaign. This is a new campaign, a reprint of an older game, a deluxe edition for Coal Baron. Coal Baron came out quite some time ago. They had Coal Baron. I believe they also had Coal Baron, the card game, if I'm not mistaken. But this is going to be coming to Kickstarter, I think in January, I guess. We'll see. But they're bringing you a deluxe edition of Coal Baron back to your table. If I recall correctly, it was worker placement, but I'm not 100% certain about that. It's been a long time on this one. But that's Coal Baron from CNC Publishing, probably coming to Kickstarter in January. Then we have Trolls and Princesses from Game Brewer. This from Game Brewer always has their regular campaigns coming up. The last one was Delta. I believe this will be in January if I'm not mistaken, based on their current calendar. But this is Trolls and Princesses, a game about misunderstood trolls and misunderstood princesses. Perhaps, I don't know. I don't know much about the actual gameplay. Lots of wooden bits over here, look very cool in that sense. But yeah, Trolls and Princess from Game Brewer. Then we have Batman Escape from Arkham Asylum from Night Games. This will be coming to Gamefound as well. This is, again, they haven't announced an official date on this one. They keep teasing stuff. There's lots of updates if you want to check out more information, more miniatures, more content, more everything. There's lots of updates to go through on this one. But it's coming to you from Night Games, and I believe they're aiming for January if I'm not mistaken, but it might be February, so we'll see. But this is a game as you manage, all the various villains trying to escape from Arkham Asylum. I believe it's a 1 vs many, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I might actually be mistaken, but we'll see. Summer Co-op Dungeon Crawler for 1 to 5 players. Play with your friends or solo to defeat Batman and escape from Arkham Asylum. But yeah, that's Batman Escape from Arkham Asylum. Again, you can check out the updates. There's lots of updates with lots of miniatures and renders and all those fun things. That should be coming to Kickstarter into Gamefound in January. We have Deep Shelf, a relaunch campaign. This was over on Kickstarter in the last quarter of last year. This is from the people who brought you Dinogenics. This is an engine-building board game of deep-sea exploration, resource management, and research from the designer of Dinogenics. And this is one that didn't really didn't get enough traction the first time round, and so they're doing a relaunch over on Kickstarter that will be probably coming in January, but we'll see. Either January or early February. Some of these are going to be shifted to early February. We'll find out as we go through it. That's, again, a reminder to subscribe to Shelf Clutter to find out along with him. We have Huang from Phalanx Games. This is, I believe, just another version of Yellow and Yangtze. We had Tigers and Euphrates from Reign of Knizia, incredibly famous tile-laying game that has done tremendously well, highly rated. Then we have Yellow and Yangtze, which was a kind of an offshoot version of Tigers and Euphrates, same basic mechanics, but some differences to the gameplay. That one is also rated well, but didn't see as much general popularity. It was rated well, but didn't see, I guess, enough distribution into as many people's collections and all that. And I believe Huang Huang, I'm hopefully I'm saying that correctly, is another version of that. It's the Yellow and Yangtze redone with new art, new style to the gameplay, but I believe the actual gameplay is the same or very similar, and that'll be coming to Gamefound probably in January, possibly a little later. We have Circadians First Light and Specialist Expansion. This is coming to you from Garphill Games. This is bringing you both an expansion to Chaos Order as well as to First Light. So we have both the Specialist Expansion for First Light and the Harbingers expansion for Chaos Order. So if you have either of these games, it's an opportunity to go ahead and jump in on the expansions for these games. They'll be coming to Kickstarter probably in January. We'll see those then. We have Vadis and Gussy Gorillas from Bitewing Games. Bitewing Games recently had that other campaign recently. They had a semi-popular campaign recently that I was intrigued by, but I don't remember what it was. I could just click on their name, I guess, and do that way. We go to Created, and we see them talking about, here we go. That's what it is, Trailblazers. They had Trailblazers. I knew they had something. But anyways, Trailblazers. So Bitewing Games, they have Vadis as well as Gussy Gorillas. Vadis being from Reign of Knizia. Gussy Gorillas, not actually sure who the designer on this one is, but that'll be coming to Kickstarter in January probably. We have Andromeda's Edge from Cardboard Alchemy. This one is likely coming in January. Again, I believe this is January 31st, I think they said. I think they said it's coming January 31st in an update, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, where is it? Launches January 31st, 2023. So there we go. So this is a January campaign. This is going to be Andromeda's Edge coming to you from what's it called? Oh my gosh, from Cardboard Alchemy and from Luke Laurie, designer of Dwellings of Eldervale. This is going to be worker placement, tableau building, player powers, upgradable starships from the designer and developer of Dwellings of Eldervale. And lots of free gifts before the campaign starts, so make sure to subscribe to that. Also, follow this campaign and gain the Space Dragon faction from guest artist Sandara Tang, the artist of Flamecraft. So there's a Flamecraft faction showing up in this game. Make sure to follow to get subscribed to all of that stuff. That's going to be Andromeda's Edge from Cardboard Alchemy, coming January 31st. We have Once Upon a Line, The Butterfly's Breath. This should be coming also late January, if I'm not mistaken. Coming to you from, in association with Lucky Duck Games. This is coming to you from Pert and Fracas, but Lucky Duck Games is working with them on this one. Once Upon a Line is a scratch-off game, basically. It's a scratch-off narrative adventure as you wander around the board trying to scratch off different wards that will guide you in your journey or give you different equipment or unlock your special traits. It's basically a scratch-off game, scratch-off ward game with a degree of narrative exploration and adventure to it, coming to you from, Lucky Duck Games and Pert and Fracas, Once Upon a Line. Then we have Ascension Tactics Inferno. I don't believe the date has officially been announced on this one. They keep showing ads for this one, and it's coming soon. Soon might be February, it might be January, it might be March. I don't really know. We'll find out. But Stoneblade Entertainment bringing you Ascension Tactics Inferno, the expansion to the incredibly popular Ascension Tactics game. I believe it will be standalone, so I don't think you need the original, but we'll find out. But that's Ascension Tactics Inferno coming probably early 2023. And then lastly, a date has not officially been announced for this one, but I guarantee you it's going to be in January. We have Marvel United, the Multiverse. This one, just the way that CMON typically releases their information, they're slowly been teasing things, and that means that this is almost certainly January. I would I would bet good money this is going to be a January campaign, despite the fact that no date has officially been announced. But this is more Marvel United content for all those who thought that you didn't have enough Marvel United content, because I don't know if you're one of those people, raise your hand, because I don't know who thought there wasn't enough Marvel United content. But they're breaking through the multiverse, beginning with the heroes from alternate realities, galactic villains, and new rules. And I actually read one of the designer diaries and whatnot. They do have some fun looking new rules, including the concept of equipment, so that heroes can have like their own set of equipment that will all go, like, you'll have, you know, what's it called, Captain America will have like her own, like, you know, unique shield or something like that. They're gonna have different, like, different aspects as far as trying to maintain the feel of the heroes past the hand of cards that isn't always present with the right cards that make you stand out. So they're gonna be like giving you equipment, but then balancing out by taking out the double wild cards from your deck, so that you have, you know, the power balance is in you know, balance, I guess. The power dynamic is in balance and all that stuff. But we'll see. I'm very intrigued. I'm very interested. I will, of course, be backing it all in. I should not be backing a single thing, but we'll see. It's Marvel United Multiverse. More Marvel United. My kids still play with this on the table. I still play with this with my friends. It is a good game despite being a lighter game, although you don't need as much content as there actually is for this game. And with that, that's what we're going to have as far as the upcoming crowdfunding campaigns for January. Apologies if I'm a bit not my usual self. I'm still recovering, still trying to, you know, just breathe and figure it all out. But in any case, and until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I appreciate all of you being here. This video is going up late today. And until next time, I hope you have a good one.